tragedy at a Calgary lake.
And our crews were able to rescue and pull the child from about a depth of 6 meters or 20 feet out of the water into a waiting ambulance.
A family in mourning at a place where people drowned only last summer. More than 300,000 names on a pro-separatist petition amid concerns about the leak of personal information of millions of Albertans. And a life-changing procedure.
This has changed my life so good for the better.
Patients have spinal surgery and get to go home the same day.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. CTV News has learned the young boy who was rushed to hospital after being pulled from Mahogany Lake has died. Tyson Fedor is live in Mahogany for us. And Tyson, the young boy's family is brand new to Canada.
Yeah, I spoke to those close with the family today, and they say this family just moved from Ghana recently at the end of March, renting a basement suite here in nearby Mahogany before tragedy unfolded here behind me just yesterday evening. It was around 7 o'clock last night where an EMS, police, and firefighters were called to the lake for reports of a youth who may have drowned. Video submitted to CTV News shows a dive team rescuing the boy before he is taken care of by paramedics and then rushed to hospital. Witnesses told firefighters that the boy had been playing basketball before he jumped off the dock and into the lake. Several people attempted to help him, but said he went below the surface of the water. Those close with the family say the boy was trying to make friends and did not know how to swim. With the help of police, the fire crew dive team was able to narrow in on a search location, locating the boy.
Calgary Police Service was on scene reviewing security footage with the staff. And they also supported with Hawk's helicopter with an aerial view of the incident. With that additional information, it helped us narrow down the search off the dock area, and our crews were able to rescue and pull the child from about a depth of 6 meters or 20 feet out of the water into a waiting ambulance.
Now, fire officials do say that the water at this time of year is quite frigid, saying it's about 10 degrees Celsius at this time with the recent ice melt in just the last several weeks. At this time, this is the 4th drowning death here in Mahogany Lake since 2021. The lake did remain closed today to residents, but is expected to reopen fully tomorrow morning at 9. Ian?
Thank you, Tyson. And the search has been suspended for a 25-year-old man who drowned Friday at Johnston Canyon in Banff National Park. According to RCMP, the American tourist had gone into the pool several times. On the 3rd try, he jumped into the lower falls, surfaced briefly, then went under and never came back up. Officials say there was an extensive search, but his body hasn't been found. Parks Canada has reopened the trail to the public. The father charged with the first-degree murder of his 2 children appeared in court this morning. There is a small memorial where the children were found in an SUV Thursday along 14th Street Northwest. A publication ban was brought forward by the Crown last week to protect the identities of the victims. By extension, it also covers the identity of the accused. In court this morning, the 37-year-old's lawyer requested his bail hearing be delayed until June 5th. That request was granted. The trial has started in the 2024 killing of a Rocky View County employee. In August of that year, Colin Huff was shot and killed after stopping to help when he spotted a vehicle on fire. A Fortis employee was also shot but survived. Elijah Strawberry and Arthur Penner are being tried together for second-degree murder and attempted murder. The trial is expected to last a month. A group spearheading the Alberta separation movement dropped off more than 300,000 signatures supporting a referendum today. Meanwhile, investigations continue into a massive data leak after information was posted online by another separatist group. Jordan Canagan is at McDougall Centre with more, and Jordan, security experts have major concerns about the information being made public.
Ian, they do, and those experts that we've been talking to say Albertans should have concerns about this leak as well. It is now at the center of an investigation by multiple agencies, including RCMP, Elections Alberta, and the Edmonton Police Service as well. Today, though, it was the separatist group Stay Free Alberta that dropped off 43 boxes worth of signatures to support a referendum on whether Alberta should separate. The petition needed about 178,000 400,000 signatures. Organizers say they got more than 300,000. Elections Alberta still needs to verify that petition and the signatures, but that won't happen until after a court ruling on a challenge from Alberta First Nations groups. Separation movement also being called into question after that voter list leak. A group called the Centurion Project was ordered to take down its online database of information on nearly 3 million Alberta voters. One former RCMP investigator, who's now a security consultant, says it's an unprecedented leak.
The voters list doesn't stand alone. It's bad, but it becomes really dangerous because it can be matched with all the fragments about your personal information that we've been leaving on the internet for the last, 25 years or whatever it is.
Now, the opposition Alberta NDP is now calling for urgent action from the government, including a public inquiry. But today, the Premier is saying that the province takes privacy seriously, but they will let the RCMP, Elections Alberta, and Edmonton Police Service go through their investigations before determining what next steps the government of Alberta could take. Ian?
Thanks very much, Jordan. While conflict in the Middle East continues to impact the world's oil supply, one energy expert calls this the largest energy crisis of our lifetimes. He says crude oil may need to rise to record levels to curb consumption to ensure inventories will not deplete. 20% of the world's oil supply is affected by disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. Eric Nuttall, who runs the largest energy fund in Canada, says many countries are digging into reserves. He says Canada will be better off since we have direct access to our own oil, but prices will go up and other countries will suffer.
Even if the strait were to open up tomorrow, we would lose 1.5 billion barrels at a minimum of forfeited production, and that's a massive, massive gaping hole. And the only way to balance things going forward is to reduce demand via government policies, such as enacting work from home. Even then, we expect the price of oil needs to rise enough to rationalize demand. And we expect oil to do that in the coming days or weeks.
Oil is at about $105 US a barrel today. Nuttall says it would need to rise to $150 or even above $170 to soften demand. That would trickle down to the pumps, of course. One analyst says $2 a litre for gas in Calgary is not a possibility, but a probability. And Gina, with gas prices that high, maybe we should consider riding our bikes to work as long as the weather accommodates.
Well, yeah, and if the wind is on your side, I mean, it won't be a lot of exercise, especially on a day like today, where we do have some strong northerly winds gusting between 40 to 60 km. That was really what we were noticing throughout the afternoon here. And looking outside right now, still seeing winds coming in at about that speed from the north. We're at 12 degrees at the airport. See some cloud starting to move in towards the city there. Pretty cool setup here on your radar satellite. The pattern you're seeing with the clouds there is called mackerel clouds, and they're usually a sign that change is on the way on the weather front. I'll talk more about where the change is coming from in our next weather hit, but your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen, family-owned, community-driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. You see, tonight we still remain cool, and we're going to have a very similar temperature for tomorrow, Ian, and maybe some flurries overnight.
Thanks, Gina. It really is quite remarkable having spinal surgery in the morning and walking out of the hospital in the afternoon. Still to come, a patient tells us how this procedure at the Foothills Hospital has changed his life. And hundreds of firefighters are ready, but where will they see action against wildfires this summer in Alberta? A fire ban remains in effect for a summer village northwest of Edmonton. On Saturday afternoon, a fire started in Sandy Beach. A wildfire alert was issued that night. Alberta Wildfire provided a helicopter to help contain the fire. A permanent home and 2 summer residences have been destroyed. Over 2 acres of forest also burned. The cause of the fire is still being determined. Meantime, the province is getting ready for a busy wildfire season by hiring staff and making sure equipment is ready. The province spent $400 million this year for 5 new de Havilland water bombers. A new incentive program will offer municipalities up to $125,000 to support wildfire response, which will help them access funds quicker in an emergency. More than 550 seasonal firefighters will be able to respond to fires throughout the province. That includes professional urban firefighters working as part of forest firefighter teams. But the province warns that what happens this summer is up to Mother Nature.
We look at the far north, there was a fair amount of moisture this winter, and so things are looking pretty good there, but it only takes a couple of weeks of hot, dry weather for things to dry out and become critical again. The southwest Alberta and southern Alberta is definitely drier, and so we'll have concerns there for sure.
Citizens are stepping up too, with 1,200 people applying to be seasonal firefighters. That's up from 800 last year. And Gina, we had a really strong wind today, so I imagine that could dry things out a little bit more too.
Yes, always something that people in the firefighting industry are keeping an eye on, are those winds and the moisture out there. We definitely have the winds right now. Looking outside, there's even a little bit of a shake to our Skywatch weather camera. More clouds moving in. And you might recall from our last hit, I did mention slight chance for some flurries to fall over the Calgary area, or at least in the southern foothills heading into early tomorrow morning. Not enough precipitation to really saturate the ground, but anything is good. And we do have a chance for more rain heading into the weekend. But this is what we're dealing with right now when it comes to winds. They've been gusting from the north at 40 to 60 kilometers an hour throughout the bulk of the afternoon here in the city. And same if you're joining us in the south and southeast part of the province. So temperatures cooler today because of the direction of those winds, bringing in some cooler air. So we're sitting at 12 right now. We did manage to get to a high of 13 a little earlier this afternoon. Places like Lethbridge, 14, 12 in Milk River, 11 in Medicine Hat right now. Pretty similar temperature values in the central part of the province too, as we're all under this jet stream together, which is funneling in all this cold northerly air. Tomorrow, we don't see a lot of movement on the jet stream. I'll show you that in a moment. So pretty similar setup for tomorrow as we had today, with temperatures just in the cooler end of the seasonal range. And we have a lot of clouds starting to move in right now. I told you these mackerel clouds here are usually an indicator of change on the way. I feel like we're already in the thick of the change right now, but it's all being steered, these clouds and these winds, by this low pressure system all the way over in Ontario right now. You can just see how much air it's pulling towards it though. And with enough power, it can create precipitation. So that's why we might see, again, the slight chance of some precipitation tonight in the form of flurries. You can see by tomorrow the upper air pattern doesn't really change much. Very straight north-south tilt here of the jet stream. So cooler air moving in once again. That ridge starts to push in a little bit more on Wednesday. That'll keep us more protected and warm and sunny. So temperatures getting back into the 20s by midweek. But then on Friday, I'll pop back in here. A little bit of stretching, even though we're south of the jet stream, that could create the grounds for some more instability by the time Friday into Saturday comes around, which is when we could see rain again. So the next 3 days here, again, Tuesday, copy and paste basically what we're experiencing today, back into the 20s by midweek. And then by the time late Thursday into Friday comes around, I mean, that's going to be okay too. But it's by late Friday, we'll start to see the potential of some evening showers turning into more sustained showers by Saturday morning. And of course, that'll get our temperatures exactly where we should be for this time of year, which is a high of 15 degrees.
A new spinal surgery program in Calgary is promising faster recovery with less pain and shorter hospital stays. The ultra minimally invasive procedure uses a small camera and several tiny incisions to reach the spine instead of a single large cut. Surgeons say that means less damage to muscle, less blood loss, and a much faster recovery for patients. It's being performed at the Foothills Medical Center, where patients are walking within hours and going home the same day. Patients say the procedure has been life-changing.
This has changed my life so good for the better. I've been averaging, that first month and a half, I was averaging close to 10,000 steps a day. I went back to my gym after 6 weeks, was doing elliptical, treadmill, After 2 months, I started doing weight machines, light weights and stuff like that. I've been hitting golf balls for the last month. I played 18 holes on Saturday and 9 holes on Sunday. Zero back pain.
While only a small number of surgeons are currently trained in this technique, doctors say that could change quickly. They say if more patients start asking for minimally invasive options, it could push more surgeons to learn the procedure and expand access. The Calgary author has some strong views on Alberta's separatist movement. Coming up, Marcello Di Cintio on what he believes is the real motivation for those who want to leave Canada. An offer to buy out eBay is making news, and the potential buyer might surprise you. Joining me is Faisal Karmali, portfolio manager with the Popwich Karmali Advisory Group. And Faisal, GameStop is making a bid for eBay.
Yeah, it surprised me as well. I would have thought Amazon, Shopify, a big behemoth like that. No, GameStop wants in on the eBay to compete with Amazon. And here's what's interesting. When we looked at the numbers, GameStop is worth about $12 billion. They want to buy a company that they're valuing at $56 billion in stock and cash. Now, how are they going to be able to afford that when they're only worth $12 billion? Well, they're going to borrow some money. In fact, Canadian financial institution TD Bank has been named as one of the contributors in the financing realm, about $20 billion. But the markets don't necessarily agree this is going to go through. They're saying right now the stock price for eBay is only at 5%. The premium that GameStop wants to pay for it is 20%. So there's a long ways to go from now and then until this deal is done. So the stock market not agreeing with this purchase.
Meantime, a Calgary firm is doing something new in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, let's talk about stablecoin first. This is the first Canadian dollar stablecoin launched by a financial institution, and it's Calgary's own Tetra that's come out, and they are basically launching this. They've been approved by the Alberta government, and now it's going to be available. Now, the reason that people want to see something like this out there is because the transaction costs to go across border much cheaper in a stablecoin than by sending money electronically. It's all supposed to be faster. However, around the world, no matter what currency it is, not much utilization for stable coins today. So hopefully at some point it could work out for this Calgary company. Tetra comes out with the first stable coin right out of Calgary.
Interesting move. Faisal, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
A young boy drowns in Mahogany Lake. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. The Calgary Fire Department says the boy jumped into the lake, went under, and then was pulled from the water by rescuers. Coming up at 6, what we're learning about that young victim, plus how the community is now rallying around the family. Also ahead, despite the high price of oil, some industry advocates want carbon capture projects paused because of the cost. Coming up, we'll hear the rationale for that idea, plus reaction to it. Ian.
Thanks, Tara. The Writers' Trust of Canada celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, and to mark the occasion, it's hosting a number of events with authors across the country, including here in Calgary on Wednesday, May 13th. Author Marcello Di Cintio is involved in that event, and he joins us now. Great to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Now, I want to ask you about a piece you wrote recently for the Tyee magazine about the Alberta Separatist movement. You call it a movement built on bigotry.
Absolutely.
What do you mean by that?
You know, I think the independence movement tries to portray itself as a reaction against Ottawa, reaction against equalization payments, reaction against not enough seats in Parliament for Alberta. But you don't have to scratch the surface very deep to find out that a lot of this is anchored in immigration and bigotry. And you know, I was at that big four meeting a few months ago. And that's what struck me the most. The first thing that happened at that event, before any of the speakers took the stage, was they projected onto the screen a live poll where attendees could vote on this question. And the question was, what most interests you about an independent Alberta? Something like that. And there was a list of about a dozen or so options, you know, everything from pipelines to military to equalization, all these things. Number one, rocket to the top, was immigration and deportation. Not even close, anything else. It went to the top of the line and stretched across like a rocket. And it was such it was obvious to I was the only one surprised by it in that room. The MC made a joke about this and said, "Well, who would have guessed it?" And someone yelled out, "Oh, we all would." And the woman next to me clenched her fist and said, "Deport, deport, deport." And for me, that encapsulated what this is all about.
To see my extended interview with Marcello DeCintio, visit ctvnewscalgary.ca. The province is removing some royal portraits from the legislature. Portraits of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip hung in the legislature for more than 50 years. But in a ceremony today, the province moved them to the Queen Elizabeth II building, which adjoins the legislature. Now there are portraits of King Charles and Queen Camilla in the legislative gallery. The Queen passed away in 2022 at the age of 96. Sources tell CTV News Prime Minister Mark Carney will name a new Governor General tomorrow. Mary Simon's term as Governor General ends this summer. Simon has faced criticism for her lack of fluency in French. In an interview last month with Radio Canada, Carney said Simon's replacement will speak both official languages. Governors General are appointed to 5-year terms. Cooler and windier today after a delightful weekend, but those warm temperatures are coming back. Right now in Calgary, 12 degrees. Gina has the details coming up. That was such a delightful weekend. So warm, so sunny.
So nice.
And it's going to be like that again pretty soon, right?
Yeah, we have a couple of days right now that feel a little cooler out there, but we have to keep in mind that our normal high for this time of year is 15 degrees. So even it felt cool. I'll be honest, at that 12 degrees we're sitting at right now because of those stronger northerly winds, but normal range to be in when it comes to temperatures at this time of year. But we've been pretty spoiled with temperatures in the 20s, and we're going to get that back. We just kind of have to get through another day like today. Tuesday is shaping up to be very similar with a high of 13 degrees. Expect some northerly winds throughout the afternoon and maybe just the slightest chance of some early morning flurries, but that sun full force back on Wednesday, getting us to 23 degrees. That's going to be fabulous. Thursday's looking great as well with a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 20.
Thanks, Gina. Sunshine Village is going to offer summer skiing this year. The resort in Banff National Park will stop normal operations following the May long weekend. But because of this season's record snowfall, Sunshine will be open for skiing between June 20th and July 5th. Officials say the Strawberry Chair will be operational and maybe another lift depending on conditions. Sunshine received nearly 10 meters of snow this year. 10 meters indeed. Thanks very much for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.